Hi everybody. First of all, I hope you all had a nice Christmas, whatever you were doing. Even though this year Christmas was a little bit different due to the restrictions and with the pandemic, the tier systems. But like I said, whatever you were doing, I hope you made the best you could with the situation and had a nice Christmas. Now, we're coming to the end of the year. So I want to reflect back through the year and raising awareness to mental health due to what has happened throughout the year with the pandemic, the COVID-19, the restrictions, tier systems, lockdown, how it's affected people's well-being. Now, why is that? A lot of it's fear, anger, anxiety that's been going on around it, not knowing what to expect and so forth. The anger, all that is added to the situation, which is a natural response to the situation itself. Now, it's like taking things for granted, even the littlest things, and then when it's taken away, like what's happened with the pandemic, little things that we take for granted, and then we've got restrictions, how, like I said, how we take things for granted, just the littlest things we take for granted and how it affects us. Anger, we start to feel anger, resentfulness, how it affects the mind, just the littlest things we take for granted. Now, even though we're in these restrictions, our lives have been turned upside down a little bit, a bit of confusion going on. So it's affected a lot of people's well-being, how not knowing how to cope with it. So I want to bring awareness around mental health due to all of this. Now, mental health problems have been going about, people suffering with mental health issues for a long time now. So it's quite easy, there's different triggers that can trigger off our well-being, and one of them has been what has been going on this year. Another as well is people in poverty having to use food banks more than any other time. Poverty, how it affects your well-being, how it, not knowing, like not having enough, having to use food banks to get food. So we're in winter now, it's cold, to keep for heating, keeping your homes warm. People like that in poverty, and it's a lot of it going about. So I want to raise awareness around that, how it's affecting people's mental health, their well-being, and also as well, like I said, we take for granted a lot of things, and there's people out there that are sleeping rough outside on the streets that have no home. They haven't got a door, a key to walk into at their home. They haven't got warmth, just a warm room. They're out there on them streets, and it could be a lonely and dangerous place for them. How it's affecting their well-being, their mental health. Probably some of them may already have mental health issues as well on top of all that. So, and plus as well, like I said, with the things we take for granted, even though we've had a tough year, there are people out there that are in poverty, living on the streets, sleeping rough, finding it very difficult. People in poverty having to use food banks and trying to can't afford to buy, they have to use food banks and trying to keep their homes warm heating during these cold winter months. And like I said, with the raising awareness to those living on the streets, they have no bed to sleep in. They have to make do with what they've got. So when we're there thinking we're in restrictions, it's tough. We've got at least, if you've got a warm bed to sleep in, you're able to manage to keep your home warm, like keep yourself warm. So, just reflecting back on this year, on how much it's caused problems with this pandemic, people's well-being, mental health, there's a big problem with mental health problems, issues going on, poverty, people living on the street with this pandemic going on, sleeping rough. So I want to end this video by just remember when you're feeling a bit down, just have a thought for those that are out there on them streets, sleeping rough, and have no home to go to, feeling lonely and probably suffering with their well-being as well, their mental health. So maybe, to make yourself feel better, if you're in that position to do so, do a good deed. And if you see someone that is on the streets, buy them a cup of coffee, hot drink and a sandwich. Just put a smile to their face. That's all it's needed. And for those that are in poverty, there are food banks, just a couple of items. Donate to food bank. It will help a great deal and put a smile on those that are using those food banks, those charities. It will help those as well. And also it will help yourself, your own well-being, by knowing you've done something, you've done a good deed, even just the littlest thing, just to bring a smile on someone's face, put a smile on someone's face. So this video was about raising awareness for mental health problems that have more occurred this year due to this pandemic and what it's caused, poverty, people that are living on the streets. I want to raise the awareness there of people sleeping rough and how difficult it is for those out there. So I hope you like this video. Please share this video because it's very important. The year we've had, the tough times we've all had, and there are people even more in a tougher situation because of it, and with their mental health, their well-being, poverty, people suffering, and people that are sleeping rough, especially those sleeping rough as well. We've got a few cold days that have been coming up, and it could be a dangerous place for those out there. So let's bring a thought to those and do our best, if you're in that position, just to help those in need and put a smile on their face. Let's end the year with doing something like this. Like I said, we're coming to the end of the year now. Probably most people are probably thinking, what's next year going to bring? We don't know what the future holds. So, the more we think about the future, it adds to our well-being with anxiety and stress. We all should be thinking about how to deal and cope with our well-being to get through these tough times. And so this video was raising awareness for mental health and for those in tough situations. So like I said, please share this video. It's very important. We should be keeping this conversation going, and give us a like.